What a pleasure to have Bruce Bochy back on the show on the UMA guest line. Anytime we talk to Boch, it's awesome. So, Boch, welcome back. You got your buddy Murph. You got Markus Boucher here. It's the Murph and Markus show. Good morning, Bruce. How are you, man?
Hey, morning, Bruce.
Hey, Murph. Hey, Markus. Thanks for having me on. It's good to be back. I'm excited. It's been some tremendous years there, 13 years, and my family, we're all looking forward to getting back and spending some time there in the Bay Area. But yeah, it's good to talk with you here.
Yeah, it's great to hear your voice, man. Well, tell us a little bit about how it all went down. So you finish up with Texas this year, 2 years removed from that epic World Series that you won down in Arlington. You'll be forever a legend there for 100 years there. Then you finish up this season. Can you just kind of take us through the process of how you decided maybe to sort of ease out there, and then maybe how things started going with Buster in San Francisco?
Yeah, well, I knew I would try to lighten the load after this past year, and for me it was great to come back and manage again, because sometimes, Murph, you question yourself on whether you retired too soon. And so after 3 years to have a chance to get back on the field, I'm thankful for that. But it's out of my system right now. I'm really in a good spot, and didn't know what I would do afterward. And Buster and I talked. We had a great conversation, and we talked about coming back in the role that I'm in. And I'm a giant. I have 13 years there, tremendous years, a lot of friends, a lot of great memories. So this to me just makes the most sense. It's a great fit for me at this time, and I'm looking forward to just getting reunited with a lot of familiar faces, but also getting to meet a lot of new people. I'm going to the winter meetings in Orlando. I'll be down there and start studying the club, working in any way I can to hopefully bring a championship to San Francisco. That's my goal.
Oh, you've done that before. You can do that again. Well, tell us a little bit about what you and Buster talked about for your role. Before you come on, you're like, "Hey, Buster, what do you expect from me, or what do you want from me?" What was the answer from Buster?
Yeah, any kind of role, I'd say, advisory role. I met with Tony in Nashville. Really had a great conversation with him, his parents, and so anywhere I can, help. I'm not going to be in a way. Trust me. This is, he's ready. Of course, when you go outside the box, the way Buster has, there's always going to be questions. Okay, this hasn't been done before, but he's smart. He knows the game. He has, I think, a great way with people. But most importantly, he's been coaching a long time. And but any way I can help him, I'll be there. Or really look at the system. We talk about, of course, coming into seeing the Giants. Every so often, and just any thoughts that Buster has or questions. Jeremy Shelley's already been calling me, asking about players. So hopefully I can give them, maybe another voice or perspective in areas. So I'm just there to help, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Dusty, but very similar role to what Dusty's been doing. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to hang with him too.
Yeah, Bruce, that was actually going to be my follow-up question, if Dusty has had a chance to reach out, or if you guys have talked about the role, but also how big of a resource do you think both you and Dusty can be for somebody like Tony Vitello?
Well, hopefully we can help in any way we can. Again, when you haven't been doing this in the major leagues, there's going to be maybe some questions. Any advice that we can give, and so we're there to help. That's our job. It's not there to be in the way. He's going to do his thing. I think he'll surround himself with great coaches. But again, I think if there's any way that we can pitch in or help out, that's our job. And so that's the way I look at it. And of course, I'm always available if he has any questions or calls. I'll be watching the games. Could be something as far as a game, could be far as players, things like that.
So, Boch, your guy Buster, you've been with him since he was drafted back in '08. I forget what year it was. And now he's running the show, and look what he does, Boch. I'm going to give you two big ones. Trades for Rafi Devers in June. Unbelievable trade, right? Doesn't even have to send a whole huge bushel to get him either. Then he goes and just destroys the barriers and hires Tony Vitello out of Tennessee. He's swinging big, Boch. I wonder your thoughts from afar in terms of president of baseball ops, Buster Posey, what he's doing, his big swings he's taken, and what conversations you've had with him about his style of management. It's only been 1 year, and he's going for it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's all about winning, and that's what Buster's about. He's a winning player, and now in this position, that's what he wants to do. He's going to do all he can to give Tony the resources to win down there, and that's all you can ask as a manager, but also as a organization. And so for him to be fearless, I love it. A lot of guys, especially starting out, wouldn't be a risk taker the way Buster is, but that's how you win championships. And so good for him. I think it just says a lot about who he is, and probably part of the reason why we won 3 championships with him catching, with his leadership, and he never played cautious or just trying to survive out there. He was playing to win every game, and especially getting to the postseason there. So now we'll continue to talk, as the winter goes and the season, I'll hopefully be there, as a sounding board at times for him if I can be that. And but he's all in. You could tell that he's not going to be content. And as you well know already, with the changes he's already made, he's not content with not winning. And so I think he's going to do all he can to bring a championship back to San Francisco.
Bruce, we know that you're still getting to know Tony Vitello, just like the rest of the organization and the fan base is. So what can you tell us about some of the conversations that you've already had with him, and maybe a few takeaways from getting a peek at his baseball brain?
Yeah, we just sat down in Nashville. He has a place in Nashville not far from me, so we sat down for over an hour. In fact, again, I got to meet his parents as well, and so haven't had a lot of conversations with him yet, but we talked about getting together again a few times this winter or whatever, and so I can tell you this: he knows the game, man. He's smart. As I said, he's wore a lot of hats. He's been a coach. He's been a pitching coach. It wasn't an easy road to get being the head coach of Tennessee. I mean, he had to he grinded his way up to where he got there, and he's earned this, I think, when you look at the success that he's had. And just to me, he's got a great way about him. Speaks well. He's got a great feel for people, and to me, that's the most important job that he'll have, is managing his people, and he's so good at that. And so I really think he's going to have a lot of success in the major leagues.
I was going to say, it's a great observation. I think that, I thought too, his biggest skill that came across to me was he's a people person. And so I was going to ask you, Boch, after all your years in the game, both as a player and a skipper for 30 years, how much of your job, if you had to divide up the pie, is being a people person, and how much of it is in-game strategy management?
Yeah, I'd say probably more than anything, being a people person, just being able to connect, to the club, and hopefully, creating an atmosphere to where you can bring out the best in everybody, and building that culture that you want in that clubhouse that's going to, bring a winning attitude. To me, that's as important as game strategy, especially today. I mean, a lot of things are almost scripted, with how they're done. Although, as a manager, you still have to go with your instincts, and sometimes you're going to make decisions that the numbers are going to not agree with you there. So, but you're not going to have success unless you have guys playing for the right reason, for a cause, and that's to win a championship. And that's to me, again, that's why that's the most important job for a manager.
Bruce, we had Tony on a couple weeks ago, and he said, look, at the end of the day, I'm still coaching baseball. So what do you think will be the biggest challenges for him making that jump from the college game to the difference of playing baseball and managing at the major league level?
Well, I'd say more than anything, it's just the number of games. That's, you're talking 162 games and hopefully more, and that's going to determine, how you may use the bullpen, because you got to keep track of, those the workload down there, and take care of that bullpen, giving guys, breaks when they need it, having a feel for that. College, I'm sure, hey, you get your horses out there and every game, and you're doing all you can to win every game, similar to what the postseason is in once you get there. But during the regular season, you got to remember, man, it's a long season, it's a grind, and you got to watch your horses. You got to take care of them so they're fresh down the stretch and things like that.
Bochy, his first hire was Jace Tingler. He managed the Padres, but I think you were out of the game at that point in time. You weren't managing. What experience do you have? He was a bench coach with the Rangers and the Twins, I think. What kind of the Twins when you were there? What kind of experience do you have with him, and what would he bring to the actual dugout?
Yeah, no, I had Jace across the field there in San Diego.
Okay.
No, that's a great hire, and of course he was in Minnesota. Actually, at our ballpark. Rocco and Jace, we were planning on getting together after a game, but we didn't do it. So I haven't had extended conversations with Jace. But that's a great hire for Tony. I know they're close friends, going back to Missouri. But that's to me the perfect type of bench coach that he needs. Jace has managed. He's got a great feel for the game. I thought he did a nice job in San Diego, and so his experience as both a manager and a bench coach it's going to be invaluable for Tony to help him out, and a lot of the organizing things like that he hasn't probably done as much of at Tennessee, and so that to me was probably the most important hire along with that pitching coach.
Yeah, fun stuff. Great last couple minutes here with Bruce Bochy. Great to have him back as a special advisor for the Giants. Him and Dusty Baker, all Buster's bringing them all back. It's so much fun. But you'll be staying. You won't be living in the Bay, right? You based in Tennessee, in San Diego.
Yeah, I'll be coming back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be coming in every so often. I'll be in spring training, for a little bit, and making my rounds, to see the different affiliates, but I'll be spending some time there, and of course special events, and talk to Larry, and I get we got some special things going on during the season, like Brandon Belt's got something, and so I'll make myself available then, and looking forward to spending some time there and catching up with a lot of old friends.
Finally going to do something for old number 9, huh, Belt?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
No,
I probably shouldn't have said anything.
You're good. That's positive. It's a positive story. You're good. You're good. You're
just trying to take care of your horses, Bruce.
Yeah. Very good. Hey, Bruce, let's get into it before we get out, man. This World Series. Wow. I don't know. Should Isaiah Kiner-Falefa have gotten a secondary lead? Bruce, what do you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think that was one of the greatest World Series of all time. It has to be right up there. Tremendous series. I really, really enjoyed it. Now, as far as that, it's really a difficult spot for a base runner because it's not a contact play. You got bases loaded there, and you got to avoid a double play. That's the big thing there when you're in that situation. If you can, maybe you could have been off a little bit more. You get off as far as that third baseman will allow you there because you got to obviously freeze on the line drive, and it's a little different when you're running the contact play, and I just don't think you can run it there.
And Will Clark says it wouldn't even be in that situation if Jeff Hoffman should have thrown a fastball past Miguel Rojas instead of a breaking ball. Your thoughts?
Yeah. with that fastball that he has, I think he was throwing a pitch, a 3-2 pitch that he felt the most comfortable getting over. I do. I think he felt like he had the best command of his slider. And, the fastball way, he's not going to do any damage on outer half. Just let him hit it. The last thing he wanted to do was walk him with Ohtani coming up. So I think he just said, I'm going to get me over a breaking ball. That's the last thing he was expecting. And he got ambushed there. That shocked everybody, I'm sure. No doubt the fastball, if he had the good command, that's the way to go there.
Oh, man, it was so agonizing for Giants fans to see the Dodgers come that close to losing, and they couldn't quite get it done, man. I'm telling you, Boch, it was like honestly, it was like the Giants got eliminated. Everybody was so upset here in the Bay because, the Dodgers, they got everything. They got Ohtani, they got Yamamoto, they got everybody. And for them to be 90 feet away from losing that World Series had the entire Bay Area on the edge of their seats, Boch.
I bet, and I tell you, I'll see Dave Roberts here in about a month, and that son of a gun, he's going to be wearing the horns on me again.
Oh, it'll be fun. Hey, did you and Tony V bond on like Tennessee living, like country music or anything, or
Didn't really get into that, but yeah, I know. I think he loves Tennessee. I mean, he could have ran for mayor in Knoxville. I mean, he's so big there with the success they had. But he's got a place in Nashville, so I know he loves it there, as I do. And but didn't really get into the music thing. He's a little younger, so I'm not sure where he's at.
He's an old soul, though. We asked him about his music, and he said everything from Frank Sinatra to Celtic music. So he's a
That's good.
Yeah, he's a character. And then finally, how's the fishing? Are you down? You getting out now? You got a little time to go out and get in the waters?
Yeah, you know what, Murph? I took a trip right after season just to decompress. I went down to Florida and got some fishing in, took my grandson, and we had a great time. Had a lot of success there, catching some reds and Spanish mackerel. And then I did a thing for Wally Joyner. So I've been busy. I'm at my son's place here in San Diego, heading back to Tennessee tomorrow. And then, like I said, I'll be down in winter meetings in Florida coming up, and then get ready, make my visit there to spring meeting. Hopefully I'll see you there. What time are you going to Scottsdale?
So we're going that first week, that right before the first game, which is Saturday the 21st. I think we're there at the end of that week, that Thursday, Friday. Yeah. So are you going to be around right before the first game, you think?
I don't know. I don't have my schedule set yet.
Yeah, so well, hopefully. Why don't you arrange it so that you're there at the end of the week, right before the first game?
Oh, okay.
By the way, you having to do this interview prevented you from getting out on the Pacific Ocean for some fishing today, huh?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I actually did have a trip planned a couple of days ago, but it's been slow here. Yeah, I was going to head out about 40 miles, and they said, there's nothing going on out there, so I backed out. I ended up on the golf course. Right. Believe me, I should have been fishing away to hit the ball.
All right. Well, listen, everybody's delighted. The text line's blowing up. Everybody loves hearing your voice. Listen, it's all great stuff, man. And so we will look forward to, maybe the winter meetings. You guys will do some interviews or something, and we'll see what's going on. I don't know. Try to avoid Dave Roberts in the lobby, and then we'll hopefully see you in Scottsdale in February. Welcome back, Boch.
Yeah, thanks, Bruce.
I appreciate it, man. It's good to be back. I look forward to seeing you guys, and let's get ready for a nice year.
There it is, Bruce Bochy on the Sports Leader.